Friends, it's time to talk about combat. This is GM Philosophy. I'm the GM Philosopher, and I don't usually do this. Usually my videos are for Game Masters. Friends, this one is for the players. Game Masters, you can show this to your players if you want. If you want me to tell them what you might want to tell them. Your combat turns are taking way too long. You're dragging out the game. You're turning what could be a smooth, immersive, flowing combat into a sitting around and waiting game while you hem and haw over your choices. Players, move faster, be better players. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Let's dive in. All right, so here's why I'm making this video. First of all, this has been on my radar for a long time. I have recently seen some messages in private threads about this on the GM Philosophy Discord, which you can join. Links in the description. You should join us. We're over 500 GMs strong. We have GMs looking for games. We have awesome one-shots going on. We have contests, all kinds of cool stuff, conversations about empowering game masters to run better games. So you should join us. Now, with that being said, I saw a message that finally prompted me to say, you know what, enough is enough. I need to make a video about this. I need to make this aimed at players. Players, you are an awesome part of the game experience. However, these combats, they're taking way too long. And I'm not saying this to you personally as every single person watching this, because there are some players out there who are really good at running their combats fast. You might think to yourself, I don't know how to run a fast combat. Okay, that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to teach you not only what GMs think about this problem, but I'm going to teach you how to solve it as a player. It's going to be very easy. I love planning my combats as a player character, and even at higher levels, like my level 9 Bard in William's game, I think it's level 9. It might be level 8 or level 9. I can take a turn in less than 3 minutes, a full turn, even using magical actions, even using more complicated spells. And this is how I do it. I'm going to teach this to you. Your combats don't have to last an hour and a half. Combats could last snappy 20 minutes, and then you could move on and you could get just as much done, all by using this technique. So here's first of all what GMs think about this. Let me share this comment that was made by William in the GM Philosophy Discord. Combat, out of all things in D&D, is one of the most problematic issues I see, even in my games. I think as DMs, we get plenty of videos to watch and be better DMs, and sometimes because of that, we know to move fast in our turns as players. This is super true. We build awareness and know that we should be ready before our turn, with option A, B, and possibly C, so we don't take up other players' turns. But it seems there's a lack of player videos out there to address player issues compared to DM videos. As players, we forget that others also want to get back their turns as quickly as possible. While others are taking their turns, we don't pay attention. Some even look at their phones or have their minds elsewhere. Players, do better. Don't be looking at your phones while you're playing D&D. Be engaged in the game. Anyway, let's continue. Basically, player etiquette is largely unknown. I think combat turns can go fast. I agree, William, they can. I have had games where, when players are actually thinking ahead and aware of the other player's time, combat is smooth and flows. I also agree. I have also experienced this, and I've also experienced the opposite, where a player seems to not even be paying attention to the combat when it gets to their turn and takes them 10 minutes to figure out what they're going to do. And this is made worse if they don't understand their character's abilities or spells. Okay, so now that's the problem. This is how a lot of GMs feel, players. Okay, I'm just telling you right now, I'm not trying to be mean about this, but this is the truth. And let's be honest, we all want to have better games. We want to run better games. We want to get more game time in. Wouldn't it feel so much better if you got to take a combat turn, every 7, 8, 10 minutes instead of every 45 minutes or every 30 minutes? Wouldn't that be funner? Of course it would be more fun. There'd be more time for everything we care about. Role play, looting, trash talking, like all kinds of cool things. So much more game time. And it's so possible. And I'm going to share the technique with you that I use to make this happen for me when I'm a player. It works super well. This is exactly what you can do to make your combat turns go from 10 minutes or 13 minutes down to like 2 or 3 minutes, even at the higher levels. First of all, this is step 1. Before you even come to the game session, read and understand your full character species, class, and all the spells and abilities you will have access to. Truly sit down with the player handbook and read through all of them. Or if it's contained in a source book, read through the source book. You don't have to read the entire book or all the source books to play D&D. But D&D is a type of game where you do really need to understand how your class works, how your species abilities work, how your spells work, right? It's really important that you understand these things. If you are confused about them, there's all kinds of information online. You can jump into our Discord. You can ask questions. There are literally hundreds of GMs who will help explain it to you. There is no excuse to not understand your player character. And if you want to actually play D&D at a higher level, if you really want to be a great player, not just a casual player, but a great player, it's going to only help you to completely understand your build, what you're doing, your abilities, your spells, and how they work. If you don't understand them, That's going to take up game time as you sort it out. If you don't understand them, you're not even going to know what their purpose is sometimes. There are some characters, like for example, the paladin and the paladin abilities and spells, there's a lot of synergy where they can work together and you can stack them in unique ways to create a lot of damage. But if you do not understand how they work, it can be very confusing. It's really important to understand not only your abilities and how they work literally, individually, and the spells individually, how they work, but also how those things are supposed to work with the build of that class. This is especially true if you're playing something already published, because it's probably true that there's a reason for why they have those spells and abilities, and there's a particular synergy that goes with it. So understand that before you even show up to the session. This is step number 1. Please do this. This will make you such a more amazing player, and GMs will love having you at their games if you complete the step 1. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2, when you get into combat, because that's what we're talking about here. We're specifically talking about combat, using your abilities in combat. When you get into combat, here's what you do. You want to pay close attention to what everyone else is doing. Okay, so this is step 2. Keep your mind and attention on the combat. There's a temptation to go check Facebook while someone else is taking their turn. There's a temptation to, pull up something else on your other monitor and read it or something, browse as other people are taking their turns, because you think to yourself, well, it's not my turn yet. I'm going to let them take their turns. That's okay. Listen, maybe that's okay. Maybe you can get away with it, right? And it's possible that your GM may not even technically notice that you're doing that. But what that is doing is it is taking your focus away from the game onto something else. You are literally not paying attention. And here's the problem with that. When you don't pay attention to the game, you are not aware of all the situations going on. And then when you have to ask questions like, wait a minute, he's over there? I thought he was over there, right? It's obvious that you weren't paying attention. And this is a huge feel-bad moment for game masters, but it also means that you do not have true situational awareness. So this is step 2, maintain focus. If this game isn't good enough for you to stay focused on, I would encourage you to probably leave that game and find a game you can stay focused on. If it's not about the game and it's more about your ability to focus, think of focusing like lifting weights. The more we do it, the better we get at it. Practice staying focused on the game. Put your phone out of reach if you need to. Don't let yourself open other windows. Stay completely focused on the game. I promise you that if you get good at this, TTRPGs transform and become something that really transcends just a game. Don't think of this like a board game or a minis combat game. Try to imagine everyone else's turns going on in the theater of your mind. Imagine it playing out like a movie or a show. Imagine the special effects, what the magic looks like. There is a deeper fun to this. There's a deeper immersion to this that you will miss out on when you're just browsing on your phone. You bring up social media on your phone, boom, you ruin all of that internal immersion. You're not even enjoying TTRPGs to like the 50%. You're literally leaving out a massive part of what makes them awesome and cool when you do this. And I'm not trying to be mean to you. I'm literally telling you this to help you, because you might see that once you start focusing on the game and you start picturing everyone's turns in your mind and you start paying attention to the situation, you're going to find that there's a gripping, engaging sort of effect. You're going to find that you're going to be drawn into the story. It's going to take on a realness to it that's going to become real and important to you. And when that happens, the fun level just goes way up. This is why so many like really good gamers are so into this hobby, right? Now, with that being said, that's step 2. Now here's step 3, and this is probably the most important step. I don't know about the most important, but the first 2 steps definitely important. But you have to do this step, or it's you're only going to have limited good results. It's so crucial that once you enter combat and you figure out where you are in initiative, you immediately begin planning your turn. What am I going to do? Literally, what am I going to do? What is my movement going to be? What's my action going to be? If you have to, write it down. Sometimes I will literally, like if I have a very complicated turn at a higher level, it's like I need to move here, I need to cast the spell, then I need to use my bonus action there, then I need to finish my movement there, and I need to use my second attack here. Like if it's going to be very complicated, I might even take notes of what, like the turn order, like I'll literally have a flow chart of my turn and I want to work it all out. If there's anything I don't know about my next turn, I work on it while I'm paying attention. If there's anything that should distract you from what's going on as you focus on the game, it should be this, planning out your next turn. Because then when your turn gets here, you just go down the flow chart. You already know what checks you're going to make. You already know why you're doing this. You already know what saves to tell the GM to ask for the NPCs. It's like, I'm casting this on them. There's a constitution save. Save DC is 15, whatever it is. You can rattle it off fast. This doesn't have to take more than 2-3 minutes. And even at higher levels, I'm talking about epic levels, turns don't have to take 10 minutes, my friend. If you use this flowchart method, this is what I do when I play. If you use this method and you plan out your turns ahead of time, then what's going to happen is your turns are going to go bam, 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 2-3 minutes max. And then you're going to be done with your turn and you're going to pass it on. And if everyone did this, we would have 10-minute combat rounds instead of 40-minute combat rounds. But when you don't do this, and it gets your turn and you say, okay, where is everybody? What's going on again? Let me see. Let me look at my spells. Oh, I don't really know what this spell does. GM, will you explain the spell to me? You can quickly see how turns go from being 3 minutes to 15 minutes or 18 minutes, right? And this ruins the game for other good players. It's important also for players to know that really great GMs aren't probably going to be very thrilled with this. If you want to play in really great games, it's important for you to elevate your performance so that you can actually prove yourself worthy to share the table with other players who are no-nonsense players. Because let me tell you something, there are skill levels to this. There's skill levels to being a player. I highly value my great players. And I'm going to be honest, at this point in my running games career, which if you want to join one of my games and you'd like to see how I run games, links in the description to my Start Playing Games profile. I have several games open right now that you could join, and you can see exactly like the action. You could see me in action and experience the game like that. And if you're just looking for a game, I would encourage you to take a look at that. But really great game masters, me included, are not going to tolerate players who bring down the rest of the games. If they have 5 players, but one of those players is taking 15-minute turns and they're not paying attention and they're scrolling on their phone and they're not understanding their abilities. At this point, with how much I care about the craft, I'm probably going to drop that player. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm trying to tell you that the stakes are high out here. So if you want to play with truly good people and enjoy this craft to its maximum, it's in your best interest to get better at these things. Plus, it just makes it more fun. And that's all about the part of it. That's what it's all about. It becomes more fun as you get better at these things, right? So there you have it. There are the techniques that you should use if you want to truly be the kind of player who takes fast combat turns, the kind of player your GM loves. And listen, there's another part to this. Game masters might even show you a little special privilege if you're one of their favorite players. This happens. Hey, this is a human hobby. Humans love to show a little bit of special interest to the people who do really good. So at your table, this might translate to, I don't know, you getting to do more cool stuff or having more cool things happen to you, or at the very least, having the GM be more interested in your personal story arcs just because they're more interested in gaming with you because it's easier, it flows better, it feels better, it's more fun, right? So there's benefits to that. All right, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. GMs, drop me a comment. Let me know if you think I'm right or if I'm being a little too harsh, but I don't think I am. I take it very seriously. There are some GMs that don't take it as seriously as me, but I'm telling you that if you want to ascend to great levels, great gameplay, great games that you can't wait to get back to, this is the kind of commitment and skill that it takes. All right, that's going to be it for this one. I'm the GM Philosopher. I'll see you awesome people on the next one.